Thank you. Thank you very much. Last year I stood here and presented Lynn Swan, and Lynn got up and he made mention of the fact that if this was his greatest hour, then it was only a half hour. And I say to Lynn here today, I'm more than happy to complete that hour for him. To the folks of the Hall of Fame, John Bankert and his staff, for the citizens of Canton, Ohio, if it was your goal this week to make me and my fellow enshrinees feel special, you've done that, and you've done that in a magnificent way. Thank you very much. My feelings since notification of my selection have run the length of the emotional spectrum. I've been humbled to realize how important other people have been in my life and the reason that I'm here. I'm proud because I realize what a select group I have now become a part of. I recall the initial excitement of getting the call of my selection. I'm joyful that I have my brother Spikey and Philip, my sister Mary, my father-in-law, a very special person to me, a host of brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and relatives and friends from Tuscaloosa and Huntsville here to share this with me. I'm saddened that my mom and dad are not here, and they both are not here physically with us. Mary and David Stallworth, the best role models a kid could have had. Life for them was not a crystal stair. I look back and I marvel on their faith, their work ethic that saw them through some pretty difficult times, and I believe their spirits are here with us today. But most of all, a feeling right now of peace. And with that part of my life, the professional part of my life, I have vivid memories of games won and games lost, of good seasons and seasons not so good, of dreams fulfilled and dreams that seem to wither with time. With this honor, this recognition, I can put that part of my life to rest. There's no battles left to fight, no doubts left to remove, no unrealized expectations, and I thank God for that. Johnny spoke of a time in my childhood where I was paralyzed, and I came away from that time with a deep appreciation of joy of just running, an appreciation of how precious time is, and an awakening to the importance of relationships. I had to deal with at a young age my own mortality. It was a constant thought for me, and the only way that I could get rid of that thought or remove that thought was to be determined, commit myself to doing something to be remembered. That desire and those newfound appreciations have motivated me throughout my life. I've learned that in every relationship, there are opportunities to learn. I learned from my college teachers and my grade school teachers that how effective we can be when we are passionate about our calling. From the folks in my childhood neighborhood, I've learned to persevere in difficult times. From my college coaches at Alabama A&M, Coaches Cruz and Kent and others, how you can still accomplish much with a small budget. From my church family, I've learned how a strong belief in God can see you through to the other side. I've learned from the guys I played with in Pittsburgh and in college. I've learned from Donnie Shell how to stay focused when everything around you demands your attention. From Chuck Noll, I've learned the meaning of true leadership. One aspect of that is to deny personal fame and glory for the sake of the team. From Franco Harris, I've learned how you treat people regardless of their status. From Jack Ham, I've learned that greatness does not have to promote itself. From L.C. Greenwood, I've learned a certain style, a certain grace. L.C. Greenwood, who Joe Green said of him that he could have never done what he did without L.C. From Jack Lambert, I've learned an unquenchable competitive nature. From Lynn Swan, how to perform in difficult situations. From Rocky Blyer, his commitment. Mel Blunt, his benevolence. Bradshaw's perseverance, and Joe Green's leadership style. I've learned from people around me all through my 14 years in Pittsburgh. Each one of you have given me a vital part of my life and helped me to grow to be who I am today. I've learned that first impressions are not always correct. My first day in Pittsburgh was the midwinter night right after the draft. It was cold, the trees were barren, it was snowing, and I didn't bring a big coat from Alabama. I don't think I owned a big coat. And I was going to a team that didn't seem to be terribly thrilled about throwing the football, the kiss of death for a receiver. My first impression of that situation was, this is not a good thing. 8 months later, I arrived at the airport and caravan into Pittsburgh after our first Super Bowl win. It was cold. The trees were equally as barren. It was snowing. Matter of fact, it had been snowing for several days, but the difference were the people. They were lining the highway from the airport all the way into the city, easily a 20-minute drive. You would have thought it was midsummer. And I came away from that experience with a deep appreciation of the people of Western Pennsylvania. I thank you. I thank you, the people of Western Pennsylvania, for making a Southern boy feel at home for 14 years. I received too many letters of congratulations after my selection. I'd like to make note of two. One came from Art Rooney Jr., who included in his letter a picture of his father, Art Rooney Sr., with a note about how special the players were to his dad. And that made me realize how special his dad was to us and how rare his dad was. In this day of bottom line mentality, in this day of paycheck security, how rare his dad was, and he valued the player as a person. Another letter came from Dan Rooney. And in the letter, he mentioned several things, but he closed it by saying, "You are a Steeler." The cynic in me thought, now what did this guy want from me? But you know, what Dan really wanted to tell me was that you're good people. You are a Steeler was synonymous with being you are good people. That was important to his dad. That was important to him and his brother. And I think important to the new generation of leadership there with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a great family. And I'm proud, I am proud to be a Steeler. I've learned the joy of family. My daughter Natasha, who's grown to be a very beautiful young lady, and I'm proud of the person that she's grown to be. My son Johnny, who stands with me here today, and his wife Joanna, and yes, I had my son introduce me, but I also had one of my very best friends introduce me. My wife Flo, who's proof positive at times in life you get more than you dreamed of, and a lot better than you deserve. She is my friend, my confidant, my motivation, my teacher, my advisor, and the love of my life. She's a big part of why I stand here today. As you've heard, I've had some wonderful people in my life who have within them a tremendous capacity to do good. And they chose to exercise that capacity for my benefit. Family, friends, neighbors, coaches, and acquaintances, and some people I would never know. To all of you, I pray God's blessing upon you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for exercising your capacity to do good things for me. We all have that capacity. Some choose to exercise it, some choose not to. And I stand here because of some people that chose to. I believe firmly that more of us need to exercise that capacity to do good things. Who knows that the recipient of your kindness may motivate a young person to become a Hall of Fame receiver, or maybe a truly committed school teacher, or maybe a youngster that might want to be a fireman who may at some point have to make the choice of running into a burning skyscraper. Or maybe just a young lady who grows up to be the neighborhood Kool-Aid mom. Who knows? But this world needs us to try. At a banquet not too long ago in Alabama, one of the recipients of an award made this statement. He said, "Our talent is God's gift to us, and how we use that talent is our gift back to Him." I pray that God finds my gift back to Him, a worthy one. Thank you.